My favorites, orange mango. Right. Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt at Texas. Good game. Oh man, this is a good one. Oh man. The way I will say this, right? Texas is at home, but the way that Texas has been playing, um, they can't play with Vanderbilt this year like that. Not at all. If they play around with Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt to get this dub. But Texas should win. In a close one. Really don't know the outline or however that goes. But this is a tough one for me. But so y'all let me know down in the comments who you think gonna win versus Vanderbilt in Texas. That's a tough one for me. I probably wouldn't touch it because that's tough. Penn State and Ohio State. I think Ohio State. It's easy to say that Ohio State gets this win. Penn State does got some talent though that can pose some of those, show some things against Ohio State. Not really cause problems, but Ohio State gets that dub, right? Um, Miami at SMU. Um, Miami gotta play discipline against this SMU team. They just do. Wake Forest showed all the flaws in SMU, all the flaws in this Rent Lashley led team. I mean, it was very uncharacteristic. Or Wake Forest is just that good, right? And maybe they just couldn't get over the hump. But there's no excuse for this Miami team. This Miami team is too talented. They gotta come out and get after SMU immediately. I think they get this game at SMU, but SMU being at home, you don't want to wait around to make decisions and take some of those deep shots with Malachi Tony, get him going early in the game. Um, to help with that run game. Get after Kevin Jennings. Absolutely. Ruben Bain got to step up and be that guy. That defensive line got to get activated early. And I think they handle SMU, man. I got to go with Miami to beat SMU. All right. Rutgers and Illinois. I think the tough loss for Illinois. Probably I don't even know if Illinois probably be top 25, but right now they are, right. And I think Illinois beats Rutgers. I think Illinois beat Rutgers. I don't think, you know what I'm saying. When it comes to these Rutgers and Maryland, I think Illinois is top of that. Minnesota's, you know what I'm saying? I think Illinois runs that, man. I do. When it comes down to those type of tier teams in the Big Ten, Illinois is the top of that tier. So I'm definitely rolling with Illinois and Britt Bellam's team to take out Rutgers. Colin McManus has gotten a better, and but they're not consistent. And that defense, I think Illinois, with all the guys that they got together, the way that they can play against them, I think that, and them being at home too, yeah, they roll Rutgers. They should. But I definitely think that they'll win this game. Uh, but Rutgers can make it close if they play Rutgers football, right? But that hasn't been happening lately. Arizona State playing Iowa State. Iowa State runs the ball pretty well. A lot of this depends on, to me, if Sam Levitt's going to play or not. And Jordan Tyson is he still going to be injured? Is he out? What's going? Is Sam Levitt going to be in? Is he out? That has a lot to do with this Arizona State team to me. I think if they're going to win or not, but if not, then I'm going with Iowa State to win this at home. The Cyclones, I think, will win this at home. If Arizona State, Sam Levitt and Tyson is sitting, they have a lot to do with that offense and how good that offense at Arizona State rolls. Um, they're kind of the heartbeats, you know what I'm saying, of that offense. And if they're not in that game, I don't think that they can beat Iowa State. It's going to be a close one, but yeah, that's something, that's a close one for me. Y'all let me know down in the comments. Y'all give me some help with that Arizona State Iowa State game. That's a tough one for me. Louisville and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech could definitely pose some problems. They're gonna be at home, pose some problems against Louisville. But I think that defense at Louisville um gets after Kyron Drones, and Kyron Drones hasn't been playing up to par. I hope he does. I hope that he finally gets it together and it starts clicking. But Louisville, I think they need Virginia Tech kind of playing spoiler in this game. So this is playoff mode for both teams. Definitely going to see who won it more. I think Louisville is the better team, and I do think that Louisville gets this dub and a tough one away in college football for sure. Georgia coming off the bye week, having a whole bye to get ready for Florida, and Florida having a bye to get ready for them. I think that's both works in both teams' favor. Um, Florida got a team. Florida got the team to do it. They do. The Florida has the team to absolutely upset Georgia. They just do. They have the defense to get after to get after the quarterback Gunner Stockton. They got the DBs and the linebackers to keep up with those tight ends and those receivers of Georgia. They do. They just do. They got the scheme. Um and and this year we would have thought that Florida would have been one of these teams that possibly could take them down, but Kirby Smart, I can't bet against Kirby Smart. Are you crazy? They're the number 5 team in the country right now. The Georgia Bulldogs is. I'm not that crazy to sit there and say that. Like I can't bet against them. They're away, but Kirby Smart and that Georgia team, the way that they make adjustments and come out, if Florida don't get after them early, they're in trouble. But it's hard for me to go pick against Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm going with the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart. Notre Dame coming off a bye, playing Boston College. Boston College giving it their all against Louisville, a very Louisville team. People getting a little bit banged up this late in the season, week 10. Notre Dame coming off a bye, fresh, two of the best college running backs. And Louisville just had a big run game on them, but now you got to deal with 2 more backs. Boston College, y'all in trouble at home. Notre Dame definitely getting that dub. Texas Tech got Kansas State at Kansas State. This is going to be a good game, believe it or not, because Kansas State they have been rolling. They got it together. They finally figured it out. They figured out their 1-2 punch. Dylan Edwards been healthy. They figured out their offense. Their defense has been playing complimentary ball. They're kind of playing spoiler because they're like, look, we are better than where we're at right now. Texas Tech not having their start quarterback and Brendan Morton, I think makes a huge difference for that Texas Tech offense. And you gotta have Brendan Morton. Brendan Morton needs to be back for this game. And I'm going to say it just like this. Without Brendan Morton Jr., Kansas State wins this game. Period. You're at home. And I'm taking the points in Kansas State because I know they're the underdogs and they at home because they play number 14 Texas Tech. Texas Tech without Brendan Morton Jr. to me is not going to work. It's just not. And I think that Kansas State gets this dub without Brendan Morton. But if Brendan Morton's playing, then I think Texas Tech is able to pull it off, and a tough one too. You know what I mean? Just like that. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sticking with. Indiana, of course, number 2 Indiana going to Maryland. I think this is a good sparring match, man, for Indiana. It's a style. Maryland, knowing that they got to get bowl eligible, knowing that they got a team that 3:30 game that a lot of folks is going to be tuning in to watch to see the number 2 team play. So you're going to get the best of all of these Maryland players. This is their chance to highlight themselves, to be out there, to be noticed. So they're going to play tough for Mike Locksley. I think that they are a tough team anyway. Freshman quarterback, I think, is Malik Washington is good. He can be great. But I think Indiana, is definitely going to come out with the W. It's a cursing netty team, but Maryland will be playing them at home. They just won't roll over. I hope they don't roll over in that. But Indiana, they win. I don't know if they're going to come, but all flat out win. Got Indiana on a flat out win, all right? Cal low-key is not a bad team. Cal low-key ain't a bad team. Virginia coming off of a tough overtime win, almost a loss against UNC. Don't know if California paid attention to any of that, but if they did, they got a freshman quarterback. They could pose a lot of problems. And California being at home, Virginia being a little banged up. But I think it's safe to say that you want to roll with Virginia because the way that they've been playing out, the resilience that they show, true freshman quarterback with California, they ain't really got too much to lose. But that's why you might want to go with Cal and the points in that one, right? But I'll go with Virginia to win overall in that. But if I had points, I don't know if it's you want to give me 14, which one give me 10.5, maybe California. I might be tempted to take that. You know what I'm saying? But 7, if it's 7, I gotta go with Virginia. Um, South Carolina and Ole Miss. Ole Miss is on fire right now. They got to win out. South Carolina, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do. But look, this is their playoff game right here. Ole Miss better be coming out in playoff mode because they're going to get South Carolina's absolute best, and it's at Ole Miss. But I do got Ole Miss winning this game, like you know what I mean. But they better come out. They better not play no Washington State type of game. Definitely not against South Carolina, but Ole Miss. I'm going with Ole Miss to win that one. Purdue and Michigan. Yeah, Michigan just poses too much stress for Purdue right now. Purdue did come out. They did play a decent real rumble against who did they play? I think it was when I say it was, I thought it was Northwestern, but it wasn't. But anyway, yeah, Michigan, they get this win. I don't know if there was which cover going to be on that, but yeah, Michigan flat out over Purdue. Georgia Tech playing NC State. NC State, they just came off a loss to Pittsburgh. Got banged up in that tough game right there. Um, Pittsburgh could do a little bit more than what Georgia Tech can do. NC State is at home. Um, Pittsburgh can spread you out open and they can run the ball well. And Hayes King, they just NC State pretty much just. I mean, Georgia Tech is pretty much just running the ball, and I don't know if NC State they up to the task to stop that run game of Georgia Tech. So this is a bit of a trap game for me and Georgia Tech. I will say that if there was even going to be an upset next week in the top 10, this will be the one to watch for me right here with this NC State and Georgia Tech. To be honest, because what NC State is good at defensively, Georgia Tech they can absolutely neutralize Georgia Tech's run game. I seen some good linebacker play and good front four play out of NC State versus Pittsburgh in that game. So yeah, Georgia Tech better be watching out for that one. That's a tough one for me. I think that I don't want to touch that because that's a bit of a trap one, especially with the Wolfpack being at home and Georgia Tech being number 7 playoff game ASAP. Another playoff game right here, Oklahoma and Tennessee. Um, Another tough one, man. Like it's tough. Playoff game right here, right now. You know what I mean? It start right here, right now. Oklahoma and Tennessee playing each other. Tennessee at home. Oklahoma's defense being the way that it is. They wasn't able to generate too much pressure, but don't mean that they won't be able to do it against Tennessee. And Tennessee's high powered offense. I don't think Oklahoma's been tested too much downfield. And they got and Tennessee has the receivers to do that, but they also got the defensive line to get to the quarterback and they really shut Joey Aguilar down. But Joey Aguilar has been phenomenal and he's been playing really great. Like he's been playing really great football, managing the game, getting it to his receivers on time. Heupel came up with a good game plan. Brent Venables is a defense type of a guy. Like this is going to be a good game. I'm expecting a real good game. I really don't know who to pick in this one. This is another one that I just wouldn't touch. So I would ask y'all in the comments to let me know who y'all think will win this game at Oklahoma and Tennessee. Y'all let me know. All right. Now we moving on to the standings, right? I mean, not the standings, but the rankings. The rankings. They got Ohio State, of course, sitting at number 1 in the country. They just are, right? Ohio State's number 1 in the country. I think they deserve to be there. Indiana at number 2. I think it's fair to say that because yeah, I think it's fair right now, as of right now, for Indiana to be number 2 because of the way that they beat Oregon and they were able to beat Oregon like that. Texas A&M, they're about to have a win like that come up soon. So and then that maybe will go to number one, number two. But I don't think that when you could get one, two, and three wrong. I don't care which order that you put one, two, and three in: Ohio State, Indiana, or Texas A&M. Me personally, I probably would have Ohio State number one, Texas A&M right now number two, and Indiana at number three. Because when you're the best in the SEC, you got to go over the second best and in the Big Ten, right? Because I do think that Indiana is a real good football team, and I do think that they can give Ohio State a run for their money right now. But I think that Ohio State would edge that win. So just because their defense is just there, and not to say Indiana's ain't, because their defenses are very similar. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're well coached. But the best of the SEC to me would have to go number two, and then the second best in the Big Ten, which Indiana go to number three. Go to number three because they're undefeated, and that's why they would be over Bama for me, just because they're undefeated, right? And then Bama, rightly so, at number four. Ain't nothing wrong with being number four. You're still in the top five, creeping right there on Texas A&M's behind. Alabama being number four right now. Yeah, they beat Georgia, and then Georgia being number five. Kirby Smart right there. I think that's fair. Um, I don't know. I think Oregon. I think Oregon's offense is a little bit better than Georgia's this year. I don't know if Georgia should be at six, Oregon being at five. Either or, though. Like, I'm really not mad at it. Me personally, I would probably switch them. Oregon at five, Georgia at six. That's just me, though, right? That's me, my opinion on that. Georgia Tech guy, they deserve to be in the state right there at seven. Good, and great right there at seven. Ole Miss, man, Ole Miss beating Oklahoma, man. I must say, like, man, I mean, you got to show Georgia Tech, being undefeated in the ACC. They definitely got to be where they're at, right? And I think the loss of Miami's loss, hurt them a little bit and hurt the ACC as an overall conference, and that's why you got to have Georgia at least in a top 10. But it hurt the ACC because had Miami still been undefeated, then you could put Georgia Tech up a little bit more. But I mean, Ole Miss beating Oklahoma. Oklahoma is no slight in the SEC. They just aren't. That's a really good football team and a really good defense at Oklahoma. So, um, yeah, I think that's a little. I don't know, man. Maybe Ole Miss need to move up one. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they need to move up one. All right. Miami being at number 9, taking the L that they did, right above Vanderbilt. I think that's cool because I do think that Miami could beat a Vanderbilt team. I ain't got nothing wrong with that. I think that anybody behind them right now, they have beaten and they doing their thing. But BYU on an 8-game win streak, they right there at number 11. I think that's fair for them being 8-0 in the Big 12. I do think that you should let 2 Big 12 teams in over the next Group of 5 champion. I will say that I do think that you should do that, right? Um, and I'm cool with that. Notre Dame being at number 12, I think Notre Dame will be moving up soon here. Right on the cusp of being in the playoffs. I think that's fair because you don't want to let another Group of 5 in, right? But we'll see what happens with Notre Dame because they holding on to that last seed right now. Oklahoma being on the outs looking in right now. Yeah. Tough loss against Ole Miss. They got to try to win out to maintain and then get up in there. So Oklahoma had to win out one loss game late this season. I think that's where it hurts them at, right? Because of the win streak. Texas Tech being number 14, I think that's cool. I don't know, man. I think Texas Tech got to drop. They lost to Arizona State, which just lost again. So I don't know if you got to put Texas Tech at number 14. I think that you got to move up another SEC program or ACC program and move them up. Because the strength of schedule for Missouri and Tennessee is way different from Texas Tech. They lost to an Arizona State team that just had lost to Houston. So I think you got to put Texas Tech down. I don't think that they're, what I'm saying, that close right now. You know what I'm saying? But they did lose to one of the best, and that was one of the best in the Big 12. But it's not Utah, it's not Houston, and it's not BYU who you lost to. So I don't know if you could deserve to be number 14 at the moment. That's just me. Um, Missouri at number 15, cool. SEC program. Virginia being at number 16. Got to drop one. Tennessee got to go up. Beating Kentucky, being in the SEC of South Florida, they're out to me. They South Florida is out of the top 25 for me right now. I don't I think they drop a couple, losing to Memphis, which just lost to a UAB team, even though they got a loss from Miami, but they're out of the top 25. Playoff hopes is done, if you ask me, from that loss. That's just me. You know what I mean? I think that loss done a lot, and it showed a lot that, that the Group of Five division, had like I said, if they would have won out in the American Athletic, no doubt South Florida would just definitely deserve to be in there, especially with beating SEC team in Florida and their only loss being Miami. But your second loss just came from a Memphis team that lost to a UAB team. UAB, when they fired Trent Dilfer, was ranked where? They were, you know what I mean? Where were they even ranked at? You know what I mean? To even make it worse. Like I said, like I just said, super unranked, and they lost to a Memphis team who struggled, and they just didn't lose to UAB. They struggled with UAB. And granted, these teams are built to play each other. I get it. You know what I mean? It's a conference game. The conferences teams are built to play each other, but no, you can't beat Florida, get into it, lose to Miami in the way you did, and then lose to UAB. No, that's just not no. No, and then Memphis, and then lost to Memphis, which lost to a UAB team. No, it just can't happen. And they let their season slip away from their hands. So yeah, they're way out of it. They wouldn't even be ranked no more. They're out of the top 25. You ask me, because Louisville's hot right now. LSU is LSU, so they're an SEC team. Of course, the SEC 3-loss SEC team is going to be up there, period, point blank. Cincinnati, I think Cincinnati being at 21. If anything, I would put Cincinnati at number 14 and pull Texas Tech down to about 23. You know what I'm saying? I would put Cincinnati up more because they're undefeated in the Big 12, and Cincinnati is low key really good at that, running the ball, the trenches and everything. Cincinnati's a good football team. They really are. They really are. Um, LSU being where they're at. All right. Maybe pull them down. They gotta come down, maybe out. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Michigan gotta bump up maybe one or two. Illinois drops out of the top 25 with after that loss. Arizona State definitely out of the top 25 with that loss. Texas, they move up. I think Texas, you got to move up. They somewhere 12, 12 to 16. Not really sure where to put them at, but yeah, for sure. That would be my top 25 places and tops to where to really actually put them at now. I don't know, but yeah, but for sure, Texas has to move up. Cincinnati most definitely has to move up. LSU, yeah, they got to go out. Louisville, I think that's safe where they at. The South Florida got to go out. They're out of it, and Arizona State's out of it, and so is Illinois. They're out of the top 25, and things get shaken up, and maybe some other teams get moved around. And there, I think you put Texas Tech somewhere at yeah, Texas Tech at 19, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, 19, and then you move up Cincinnati right behind. Like, you put swap Texas Tech and Cincinnati. I would do that right now. Take Texas Tech and then put them where Cincinnati's at 21. Move Cincinnati from 21 to 14 and Texas Tech down to 21. That's what I would do. All right. That's it, man. Look, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all most definitely tuning in to the weekly recap, week 9, and my week 10 picks and the standings. I salute y'all. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'm always praying for y'all, man.